What's up, guys? It's Dan with Live Life in Your Flame. I wanted to create a video about discipline because I think discipline is so overrated, and I think discipline is something that I thought I never had. I thought I was the most undisciplined person in the world, and in other areas of my life, I'm very undisciplined. But when it came to working out, I was the most disciplined person that you could like think of. Anyone that I know, I don't know anyone more disciplined about me even working out. I'm about to go work out with my dog right now. That's why it's all freaking out. And I run 10 miles a day and I work out 2 hours a day every single day. Out of the last 10 years or 15 years I started working out, I'm not even kidding. I talked to my mom the other day and I said, maybe I've like 50 days out of all those years I maybe didn't work out. And she's like, Dan, you probably didn't, you probably at least walked 10 miles on those days. And I'm looking back and I'm like, I don't even remember the day I just sat and did nothing. Even when I was in rehab, I couldn't even walk up 3 steps, like 3 steps. That's how bad it was. And I'm like throwing up. And I still tried to go out there and lift. I couldn't lift a 5 pound weight, but I tried. And so even when I'm like, my body feels so hurt and torn, I'm like, I still go to the gym. And there's that side of me that says, there's never a side of me that says, don't go. That side, there's that voice, that voice is squashed. I squashed that voice so long ago. And we all have that voice. In the beginning, it's going to be there like, no, don't work out. Especially if you're like super overweight and then you try working out and you don't see any results. You're like, nah, you got to just go back to your comfortable life. Because that's super uncomfortable. Something you've never done. For me, it's comfortable because I've done it. So I already know what to do. And I go to the gym. I don't even have that voice in my head. It's never even there. Like, you're tired, don't go. It's not, I don't even hear it. But I'm sure it happened in the beginning. But it's there when I do videos. It's there when I write the book. It's always there trying to get me to be comfortable. And anything new we do, it's all that negative voice is like, nah, don't do it. Just watch Netflix. No, don't do it. Just keep eating ice cream. But I'm like, that voice is gone. I squashed it. And when you can squash that voice, that's when you see success. And that's when I have a six pack and like 8% body fat. I mean, I don't think I can get in better shape. I mean, I still try. And then maintaining it is another thing. People are like, it must be hard to get a six pack. And it's like, no, the hardest thing is maintaining a six pack. Because once you get it, you're like, oh, I reached the top of the mountain of Mount Everett. And you're like, okay, what do I do now? Well, you got to keep training because you got to do it again. Like, that's the hard part because you get it and then you're like, and sometimes a lot of people lose it. But when you just do it and you don't think about it, I don't look in the mirror. I don't look at my this month against last month. I just hit it hard every day. I hit it hard every day. That's it. And you stop looking, expecting results. And so when I do that, it's like my body just turns into a six pack. And if I start eating a little bit, maybe I'm traveling or something, and I didn't get to the gym for like 2 weeks as much as I usually do, or I didn't run. Like sometimes I can't run for 10 miles every day. I'm just not in a place to, and I get anxious because I need to. I'm like, I need to freaking run. I need to work out, and I'll see like I gain 5 pounds or whatever, and I'm like, it takes me a week, and I get it, rip it off, because I've done it so many times. Like people who made millions of dollars, they're like, I can make it right back. And you're like, how? You lost all your money and you're broke. How would you do that? And for me, I look at that. I'm like, how? And it's the same way people would look at me and they're like, how would you be successful already, like, or be ripped already? If you were, let's say I got 30, 40 pounds overweight, it'd take me a month and I would lose all that weight. I'd cut the calories, I'd up my workouts, I'd run even 10 miles more. I mean, even if you cut the calories, let's say you cut 500 calories a day, easy. And then you burn an extra 1,000 calories a day, take me a month. And people don't know the workouts. And a lot of times is people are expecting results way sooner. And so that's another thing is I realize is patience is like so important. Patience and discipline are some of the hardest things because we want things now, and we're like primed to be impulsive because everything's given to us now. We don't want what we want a girlfriend. Well, we can go on Pornhub. We want food. We get it delivered. Uber Eats. You got a nice bed. You got this. It's like everything is so we could be impulsive in everything we want. And so now we have to. If you wait for something, you got to order something. You got to wait because you have Amazon Prime now. It delivers the same day. So the discipline is and patience go hand in hand to be disciplined to do something and then not expect results right away. And then just know that they're going to come because you're putting in the work. I work out hard as I can. I know that the six pack will come. I know the muscles are going to come because I'm doing every time I work out, I'm like, did you give it 100%? And I'm like, yep. And the days that I'm like beat up and I'm like, I'm freaking so tired. I just walked 10 miles and I'm like, was that is the best you could do? And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't, I had no energy. My body hurt so bad. I've been working out every day for the last month. I needed like at least one day where I didn't do anything, which was walk 10 miles, and I'm still hurting. And I'm like hurting every time I work out. I mean, that's what people don't realize. I think it's like, it's not like I enjoy it, but I love it because it's like I love the pain of it. And I think if you love the pain of whatever you're doing, you'll see the results. And I think so. I always thought I wasn't disciplined. I'd be like, I'm not disciplined. I'm not disciplined to do this, to start a YouTube channel, and because those things are all new. So the voice in my head is like, dude, there's already all these successful YouTubers. There's all these successful motivational speakers. You can't write a book. It takes too long. And all that negative voice is right there. But if I take that negative voice and squash it just like I squashed it with working out, it's the same thing. It's the same discipline. So why am I so afraid to write a book and do all these things when people, like, when I go to the gym, I never see anyone with a six pack. I never see anyone as ripped as me. And when I do, I'm like, damn, that's good work. But when I run my dog, if I run my dog and I'm running around Austin, I see like hundreds of people running and they're all overweight. I'm always the most ripped one, always, every single time. And rarely I'll see someone more ripped. And I'm like, damn, it motivates me to fucking push more. But if I'm the most one ripped, is like, that means I'm putting in the most work. So why can't I transfer that into my business and motivation speaking? Okay, I'm not the best speaker. Well, then I guess I got to go and learn. Where do you learn? I guess Toastmasters. I don't know. So I go to Toastmasters, or I look at the best speakers in the world and I practice what they're doing. I look at the videos, I see what I'm doing wrong, what I'm pausing, things. And so I don't look at it as like, oh, you said and like, because I know I do sometimes. It'd be like working out and being like, yeah, I didn't know that I was doing the wrong workout. I didn't even know how to use this machine. I don't know. People are looking at me and and then I think that's why a lot of people, they get scared. People are looking at them and they don't know what they're doing, so they stop. So yeah, I'm putting myself out there and people be like, you're just saying or like, and oh, you're doing a book, that's not gonna work. And so you're listening to other people too. You're not gonna get in shape. You can't get in shape. But it's the voice in your head that is the biggest critic. Yeah, man, you're 100 pounds, especially 100 pounds overweight. Damn, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. But the thing is, man, you become successful at being 100 pounds overweight. Yeah, you fucked up. So what? You lost it. You started eating too much, you started drinking, you stopped working out. So what? That's in the past. The thing is, people always keep the past in the present, and they're like, well, I already ruined it. I'm out of shape, and there's no point. I can't do it. I can't keep the motivation. Look, I already worked out for a month, and I'm not in shape. And then you compare yourself to me, and you're like, dude, I've been doing this for so long. So you're comparing yourself to people. Like, if I were to compare myself to some motivational like Tony Robbins, it's like, of course he's better. He's been doing it for so long. Why would I compare myself to him? It's like comparing a seventh grade basketball player to Kobe Bryant, or the rest in peace, or LeBron James. It's like, why would he? They're totally different leagues. You have to compare yourself to where you were. That's all. And you compare yourself to where you were last week, or where you were last month, where you were yesterday. And so for me, it's like I created another video. I wrote for more, like, as long as I could write last night. I wrote till I couldn't write anymore. I almost finished with my book, and so I compare myself. I'm like, you're getting better every day. You're getting better. You're becoming more disciplined in areas you weren't disciplined, because we can't be disciplined in every area. Some of us are like, we're disciplined here, but we're not really disciplined there. And I would, Joe Rogan would probably say the same thing. Jordan Peterson would probably be undisciplined maybe in the gym, but he's disciplined in other areas. So we can't be disciplined in every area of life. And I remember I was talking to this girl at the dog park, and she's like, this guy feeds his dog like spends 4 hours feeding his dog, the right foods and all this stuff. And I said, well, that was 4 hours. Maybe he's giving his dog the best food, but does he take his dog on 10-mile runs? And I'm like, does he give his dog like the most love? I don't know. Does he? And I'm like, there's not that much time. And I guarantee you, if he's feeding his dog 4 hours, taking 4 hours, like get the best ingredients, all this shit, he has to go around town to his dog, all this stuff. I was like, is he disciplined to run 10 miles for his dog? And I'm like, my dogs have all lived to past ages where the people, I've had 2 dogs where they said they weren't going to live another day. And they end up living another 3-4 years because I gave them all this love, and because I kept exercising them when other people told me to put them to sleep. So, and then this guy, I'm like, and she looked at me like she didn't like the answer because, she didn't like that I was testing that maybe this guy isn't like, just because you feed the dog all this stuff. I mean, there's other areas of your life. So yeah, maybe I wasn't the most disciplined in, and then in areas, of course, areas that are new are going to be hard. Going to the gym, you've never been to the gym, just drive to the parking lot, sit there. Eventually you'll go in. You drive there enough, eventually you go in. That's why I tell people, go to the gym, just drive to the parking lot. If you can do that, eventually you'll go in. So people can do that. They're like, okay, I'll drive to the parking lot. So for me, it's like, just get the phone out and create a YouTube video. And then I just kept doing it. Just get the phone out and start writing. I was like, I can do that. Don't think about like this expectations of a 6-pack when you're 200 pounds overweight. It's freaking ridiculous. That's what screws you up. You have these expectations of losing 200 pounds, whatever, 100 pounds, 50 pounds, and then you have it in, you don't have patience. You think it's going to happen in a month, and you think you put in all this hard work, because sometimes you put in hard work for 6 months, and you're like, man, I lost 5 pounds. Or maybe you even gained weight, and maybe because your diet's not right. If you're eating a lot and you're eating ice cream but you're working out, you're not going to see the results. So you have to look at every area of your life and be like, okay, maybe I'm screwing up here. So if I'm doing YouTube videos but I'm not putting them out there, or I'm not marketing them, or I did a book but I didn't market the book, no one is ever going to see it, and I'll say, well, I failed, so I'm not going to do it anymore. When reality is like, okay, maybe I need to be more disciplined in promoting it. So you go to the gym and you sit in the parking lot, eventually you go in, that voice is still there saying, oh man, look, everyone's staring at you. Well, eventually you see someone that's working out and you're like, I'll just copy this person. I see a lot of people doing my workouts because I get bored, so I just create workouts. And then it's funny, I'll look and I'll see someone after I worked out there, they're doing the same workout I did, and I'm like, I just made that up. I've never seen it before, so I know they copy me. But I'm like, that's cool. Good for them. They were like, they didn't know what they were doing, and they saw me in shape. So they're like, I better copy him. And those are people who are going to be successful because they see someone, they're like, that knows more, that's better than them. Just better, that in better shape. And I spend a lot of years figuring it out. And I do, for me, you got to find out what works for you. For me, I don't eat until like 5 o'clock. And people always say, no, you need to eat carbs and all this. And I'm like, whatever. For me, I work out, I run with fasted cardio, 10 miles, no food. And then I work out afterwards. And that's just what works for me. And that's just what gets me in shape. So, yeah, I don't know. You do what you find. You have to find what works for you. You drive to the gym, you find someone that's disciplined, and you copy them. And then you become more disciplined. You start driving the gym, and then you first just go in 10 minutes. Then it's 20 minutes. Then it's an hour. And then you stop expecting results. You just know that you go to the gym, and you just don't expect any results. It just becomes part of your routine in life. And then you look in the mirror after a year, and you're like, damn, I feel better. I look better. I'm going to keep going. Then when you see the results, that's when things get freaking crazy. Because you start seeing results, and you see like, man, I'm ripped. I'm starting to get more ripped. I can see abs now. Then it pushes you more to even get better, because now you know that the results are coming. So it's like, oh, my YouTube videos, no one watched them. I did 200 videos and I had like 10 views, and now I had videos that are like a couple thousand, 10,000. Wow. Now I'm going to do more work. And then that's so much more motivating. It's like, wow, I had to be motivated. I had to push myself and be motivated when there was no motivation. Because in the beginning, when you're overweight, the motivation to go to the gym is hard, man. It's hard. You may get like little like sprints of it. Yeah, I got motivated. I'm going to get in shape. Then you lose it. And then you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm overweight still. right? Especially when you're like 6 months in and you don't see any results. 6 months of putting out videos and not getting any results. I did it before. I did 6 months and like 200 videos, and I didn't get any view. I had a couple hundred maybe, but it was on the wrong subject. I wasn't in the right place. I still was trying to figure myself out. And then it was like, and then imagine after, if I gave it up, I stopped doing it because I didn't see the results. Well, imagine if you did it for a year and 2 years. Who knows? Maybe it was just like another 6 months and then it'd take off. Maybe if you worked out another 6 months, then you get in really good shape. You were just 6 months, you just gave up too soon. And then you start meeting someone at the gym and you start meeting another person. Maybe you need a personal trainer. Maybe just like, maybe I need a mentor, whatever. Maybe it's just like someone finds one of my videos and it's like, man, I see the potential in you. And then it just like goes off, takes off from there. And things do that when you just never give up, when you're patient. And that's the hardest part, is being patient, especially when we're primed to be impulsive. And I'm very impulsive. So for me to be patient, man, that's the toughest part. But being patient is having discipline, because you have to have discipline to be patient, because you don't see results. You're not going to have results. Amazon's not going to come and give you a six-pack. Uber Eats is not going to come. If anything, Uber Eats is going to give you freaking more overweight. And you got to cut out other things. And the gym is just one thing, because then you got to cut out drinking. You got to cut out friends that want you to drink. That peer pressure is freaking hard, man. Peer pressure, people saying it's not going to work. You can't do a video. You can't make a book. It's too crowded. YouTube. You got to hear all that shit. And you're like, God, I don't want to hear that shit. So once you realize it's like, that's just garbage. I don't listen to it anymore. I don't even tell people what I'm doing. I learned, don't even tell people whatever you're doing. And then I don't have to hear anyone's shit. So they don't even know what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm freaking do door-to-door sales. They don't know. And then they don't have anything to say. I do a marketing job. And they're like, oh, good for you. Yeah, that's all I do. And they don't know what I'm doing. I create a video every day. And that was my goal. I said, I'm going to create a video every day. I don't have expectations of it. It could take off. It couldn't take off. No one could see it. But my goal is that I can write every day and I can create a video every day. Just like you can go to the gym every day. Doesn't mean you can get a six-pack, and people put the expectations of having something. That's what ruins it. I'm going to have a six-pack in a month. Or I'm going to have a six-pack in 3 months. You can't control that. You could try, but you can't control when your body's going to put on muscle and lose weight. And a lot of times it's going to take longer. Everything always takes way longer. Get a six-pack, you think it's going to take 6 months, it takes 2 years. Especially you don't know anything. You want to be a motivated speaker? That may take 5 years. I've wanted to be a motivational speaker, and I've been writing a book for 17 years, and I've failed at freaking 15 different businesses. So you want to be doing this shit for 17 years? I don't think so. It took me 17 years to get a six-pack. So, to figure it out and to now I've had a six-pack for like 6 years, but it took me a while to figure it out. So that discipline and having the patience is freaking everything. So those will squash that voice quickly. When you have the discipline and you stop expecting results, and you're patient, well, there goes that negative voice, because you're like, you might as well leave, because I'm still here. I'm still showing up to the gym. I'm still going and creating videos. So that negative voice can go F off. Because the more you keep doing shit, the more it's just going to be like, oh man, I can't get him to be comfortable. So squash that voice and live life in your flame. This is Dan. If you watched this video, or if you didn't, I don't really care. I'll see you guys in the next one, or I won't.